Hello everyone, let's talk survival games, specifically the ones that are coming out in 2023. While 2022 had a bunch of setbacks, like a bunch of game delays, we luckily also got a couple good ones. Think Core Keeper, V-Rising, as well as we've seen the full release of both Grounded and Raft. But let's look over the horizon to 2023. Next year, a ton of new games will be releasing in the survival genre. I compiled a list of 20 noteworthy survival games that you want to be checking out. Some you probably already know, but I hope that there's a couple in here that you have not heard of yet. These all have been confirmed to release next year, so if there are any new ones, check the pinned comment, and if you don't see the new game that has been confirmed yet, please leave it in the comments and I will add it to said pinned comment. So without any further ado, let's start with the first one, because it's going to be a long one. We find ourselves yet again crash landing onto an island covered with trees. But this time, there's more guns. A lot, and a lot more guns. Sons of the Forest is the sequel to the critically acclaimed The Forest. It seems like this one will focus a lot more on its story, even providing cutscenes. Any noteworthy features it will have over the original one. Sons of the Forest will get seasons that impact the gameplay. As mentioned before, there's more firearms, but there's also a lot more dangerous mutants out and about, and we will see a mutant NPC following the player around. The release date for Sons of the Forest is set at the end of February. Picture this: Vin Diesel, dinosaurs, a survival game, and an animated series. That's what Studio Wildcard was thinking when they were designing Ark 2. While not much is known about Ark 2, it seems like it has a bigger emphasis on story mode. Other unique features are Souls-like melee combat. Am I reading this right? This is on the official Steam page. I mean, may as well be a Souls-like game, because the dinosaurs will spawn camping you all the way in the first one. While there's no specific release date, we do know it's coming out somewhere in 2023. Next up is Nightingale, a survival game with a Victorian setting that took the survival community by storm. The big draw to this game is its use of portals that you can find throughout the world. However, you can also craft something called realm cards, and using some of these realm cards on a portal will influence what is coming out on the other side. So if you want to find a specific biome or a specific resource, just craft a card and you'll find it. Also, you can be Mary Poppins, y'all. Nightingale is set to release in the first half of 2023. Stranded in a forest, looking for your grandparents, and being hunted by Finnish folklore. This is the premise of Among the Trolls, a survival game which is mainly going to focus on story by the sounds of it. You're going to have to survive from the Finnish folklore monsters, which sound pretty interesting. Not much is shown yet, but it does potentially have systems like seasons in the game. Among the Trolls is coming out in 2023 after being delayed from 2022. The Day Before is an open-world zombie post-apocalyptic game. In this, you explore the overrun American countryside trying to survive, solo or with other players. They say The Day Before is an open-world MMO survival game, yet it has single-player as one of its tags. Which is very interesting to say the least, seeing as usually those two don't really mix. The Day Before is stated to release March 1st in 2023. After watching The Lord of the Rings, have you ever wanted to go and explore the mines of Moria? Well, soon you will be able to, in The Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. You play as a dwarf, doing dwarf things. You eat, craft, sing, and build a base to recapture the mines of Moria. While we don't know much about the main storyline this game will be following, it does sound from different interviews that it's gonna have multiple stories to follow along with. The Lord of the Rings Return to Moria is set to release spring in 2023 on Epic Games exclusively. Humanity is destroying Earth once again, releasing toxic clouds all over the planet. Having escaped to space is not enough, viruses are still roaming about, and you as a scientist have to go down back to Earth in order to find the cure. Forever Skies is split into two explorable worlds. You traverse the skies with an airship you can expand. This will be your main base of operations, but once you find an elevator to go down below the dust, this is where things get dangerous, as you don't only have to deal with the toxins in the air, but also the mutated enemies that are roaming Earth's land now. Also, being a scientist and viruses are roaming around, you will have to cure multiple diseases before you can find the main one you are looking for. Forever Skies has been delayed till the first half of 2023. Aska is a Viking-style survival game where you build up a Viking settlement. The interesting part of this game is that the villagers play a big part in survival for both you as well as your tribe. Aska is currently slated to release in 2023. In Fractured Vale, you'll be exploring a post-apocalyptic Hawaii. This is an online survival game where reality has been shattered and you can explore the different vales. Each vale you can travel to will have a different unique version of the island of Maui. Some will be underwater, some are more jungle-fied, and some are a fiery hellscape. As a quick plug, I did interview the developer, link will be in the description. Fractured Vale is slated to release in the first half of 2023. Winter Survival. Yeah, no, that's his actual name. With that name, I'm gonna assume you already know what's gonna happen. Winter Survival is a survival game set in the harsh winter weather. No Dutch winter, probably. I'm gonna assume more like Canadian winter. Think The Long Dark. Unlike most other survival games on this list, Winter Survival will be more of a linear story-driven survival game. If this does sound interesting to you, there is a free prologue you can play right now on Steam. And Winter Survival has been delayed recently, and how no real new date has been given yet, we can assume this will actually release in 2023. Want to explore a cool and vibrant looking alien planet? Look no further than Honeycomb. Build and harvest resources to venture farther onto this planet, and then cover what other biomes have to offer. And for some reason this game really gives me the vibe of Subnautica on land. It looks really interesting. Honeycomb is slated to release in the fourth quarter of 2023. This next one looks really unique, but also pretty funny. Paradize Project. This game may look like a zombie survival game, but unlike the regular zombie survival games, you can control the zombies. The zombies will help you build up your base and harvest resources as well as fight for you. You even get to fight the zombified elephant boss. Paradize Project is releasing in December of 2023. Pokemon with guns. Yeah, you heard me right. That's exactly what Palworld is. Collect and capture over 100 different creatures and raid enemy camps. While the main focus of this game seems to be combat, you either shoot your enemies, you let your creature shoot the enemies, or you shoot enemies with your creature. We haven't seen much survival aspect of this one. There's a couple trailers out right now, but we did get a couple split seconds where we saw things like farming, as well as something that looks like construction. This game is supposed to release in 2023 as well. No exact date given. Howdy, cowboy. Do you want to survive in the Wild West? Survive the freezing nights and the heat of day? With a story-driven survival game? Look no further to Wild West Dynasty, which is releasing very early on in the next year, February of 2023. Life Not Supported is best described from the looks of it as Raft in Space, or Remains, because that was already Raft in Space. If this premise sounds interesting to you, there is a free demo out right now that you can play on Steam. Life Not Supported is slated to release on the second quarter of 2023. In Solarpunk, you'll be surviving on Sky Islands. You can harvest the resources, build a base, and eventually create airships that you can use to explore different islands. Solarpunk is set in a more futuristic solar environment with some interesting technology. No release date other than 2023 has been given for this game. You've been exiled from your tribe and have to survive on the harsh island. This is the premise for Tribe, Primitive Builder. In this game you have to survive and rebuild your own tribe in a primitive world, and the game is set to release in 2023. Have you ever wanted to play Raft in Space? Wait, didn't I say this one before? Yeah, it turns out we're getting another Raft in Space. Drift, as this one is known. This one does sound a bit more interesting. While floating around in space, collecting debris from asteroids and researching them to fix up your spaceship, you will also come along smaller planets that you can extract for resources. Drift is set to release in 2023. You're soaring through space, looking for a new planet to call home, when suddenly you crash land onto a planet, which looks suspiciously much like Earth itself. Project New Horizons seems to be something similar to Stranded Deep. From the trailer, it doesn't really look alien-y to me, so I'm not sure why that context is thrown in there. Maybe we'll see later down the line, but Project New Horizon is slated to release early in 2023. Above Snakes probably has the most unique world generations we've seen so far. The world is made out of tiles, and throughout your adventure you can get more tiles. You can place down these tiles and rotate them around to create the perfect world that you want. Eventually you'll be able to get different biomes, some tiles have towns on them or cities, or NPCs that will give you quest lines. Above Snakes is stated to release early 2023 as well. And those were 20 survival games coming out next year. But if you think we're done, I got a couple surprises for you. Now these don't technically fall under the releasing next year, which is why I didn't include them as the main 20. VoidTrain is getting a Steam release most likely next year. This has been an Epic exclusive for a while now, and I know that a couple people are looking forward to it. However, it has been delayed, and the developer stated that they didn't want to release it to Steam before Chapter 1 was fully finished. How long this will take? We are not 100% certain, but seeing as it was originally stated to release back in October, then in early 2023, we can presume that it's probably going to be finished before the end of it. Then another one I would like to mention is Rooted. Rooted is officially stated to release in 2024. However, you can apply to their alpha testing, which will be under NDA, so if you're not part of the alpha, you probably won't be seeing anything about it because people that are part of the alpha are not allowed to say anything about the game. If you did back the game during Kickstarter, you will automatically have access to the alpha, if you have a high enough tier that is. And then later in 2023, there's also a beta testing. There doesn't seem to be an NDA on this one, and I'm not 100% sure how to access this. I know that Kickstarters, if you have a certain tier, you're allowed to access, but I'm not 100% sure if you can apply for it yet. And those are 20 survival games coming out in 2023 that are worth keeping an eye on. If there's any more that you know of, or if any other ones are slated to release throughout the year, leave it down in the comments, and as said before, I'll add it to the pinned comment. Hope you all enjoyed, and see you all next year. Bye everyone.